back out in the woods again. And let's see, we're about maybe 60, 75 yards off that direction over there, off of Cat Patch. Y'all are familiar with it. We've discussed it quite a bit. As a matter of fact, it was the one that I checked my clover in yesterday after that frost. And had a friend mention that some early weeds are coming back in. And here's the thing. We've discussed weed control repeatedly, and that field up there is a prime example. That field got mowed, disked, and then seeded in probably August or September of last year. And it all took place before I had the opportunity to get in there and kill the field. And while it's produced some really nice clover, again, the gentleman seeded it with rye and I believe ladino clover. I really don't remember. But rye's not my choice. Okay, there's better things to put out there. Rye's not a bad thing. It's just it's not my preference. An annual rye to stop erosion and things like that, to give them some nice fresh green early, sure, go for it. But anyhow, as I said, that field up there is a prime example of why we want to kill the weeds first. Now, last year when the clover came in, that field had so much traffic that there was hardly any clover left in it this year. But at this point, we didn't want to kill that because we've got so many other feed plots that we're working on, ones that we're killing all the way dead. And we don't want to remove everything all at one time is what I'm saying. So we didn't kill that. We might spray it next year and try to kill it off and start over from scratch. But what I'm working on right now, we've discussed these hides, using the hinge cuts to get that foliage up there, back down here, closer to the ground. And as I look around, and I know Keith is going to say this place needs a fire, and it does. I'm not going to argue that. It's with the condition that my heart's in, chasing flames is not a thing for me anymore. A few years back, I'd have set this sucker on fire and watched it burn. But anyhow, I'm looking for a nice spot. I want to be 50 to 75 yards off of the feed plot to kind of create a hide, a little staging area. Now, we did some hinge cuts over on, let's see, further to the east of the field. Those condos that we were talking about had several little hides in there. That'll work out really nice for the does. We're probably going to do some more further to the southeast. But down in this area, we have in the past seen several pretty decent bucks, loner bucks, moving through this area. And there's a field up there. Go down that way, follow this ravine all the way down through, and that leads into a big old creek that's typically dry. A lot of buck movement through this part of the woods over here. And what we want to do is try to make them a nice little bedding area to where they can bed off by themselves and avoid the crowd until it's time. Originally, I was on this side of that little ravine, and I got to looking at it, and man, it's so rocky over here. The other thing is I'm now on the northwest face of this slope, which is not a good spot in my opinion. We don't want to make a hide and try to make the deer go to it. We want to make a hide where the deer are going to be. And that side over there, you can see it's pretty darn rocky too. So this may not be the best place to try to do this, but I'm going to create a couple of them over there and probably move some rocks around, try to make a nice little bedding area. And worst case scenario, I'll put some buckwheat in the hide area, in maybe some orchard grass or something like that. Try to get some foliage in there. And here's the thing that I can do with either one of those. Once they get established, I can come in and stomp it down, fold it over, put a little bit of glyphosate on it, and kill it off, and do that a couple different times. And we're going to build up a little bit of a nice soft soil from the bed down on. You know, deer, they're like you and me. They don't want to lay down on a rock. They want to lay down on something that's going to give them a little bit of comfort and a nice little place to hide. Anyhow, we're back out here in the woods and we're doing our thing. Keith, always appreciate your input. Look right here. See that? I'm going to assume, I don't know if you guys got a good look at it or not. I'm going to assume that's deer traffic. It could have been turkeys. I don't know. We see a lot of turkeys out here. But I think we're on their trail. So we're going to find us a place up here to build them a hide.